Hello guys, so now we will be studying the evolution of states and union territories. I'll be reading line by line. This is from the book M. Lakshmikant of Polity, and you can refer from the book. I'll be sharing the screen and I will be showing you line by line whatever I will be reading. Hope you enjoy the session. So the evolution of states and of union territories. Let us see how this all the states and the union territories came into existence. So, integration of princely states. At the time of independence, India comprised of two categories of political units, namely British provinces and secondly the princely states. So, these were the two land political units that were directly or indirectly ruled by the British. So, the princely states were under the rule of the native prince but subject to paramountcy of the British crown. The Indian Independence Act of 1947, however, created two independent and separate dominion, India and Pakistan. After this act was passed, it created two dominion, India and Pakistan, and gave three options to the princely states: whether to stay with India or to stay with Pakistan, to stay independent, joining India, Pakistan, or remaining independent. Out of 552, we had at the time of independence, we had 552 states and 552 princely states situated within the geographical boundary of India, and 549 chose to join India, and remaining three, that is Hyderabad, Junagadh, and Kashmir, refused to join India. In course of time, they were also integrated with India, as we can see today. Hyderabad was taken into Indian dominion after the means of police action, Junagadh by the means of referendum, and Kashmir by the instrument of accession. Instrument of accession meaning that we were made to sign, the ruler of the Kashmir signed an instrument that he wants to remain with Indian dominion. 1950, the constitution contained fourfold classification of the states, the territories of India, A, B, C, D. So we shall be saying what all four lists talk about, and which all were the states or union territories or princely states were included in these four classifications. In all, they number 29. Total, there were 29, which were distributed into four parts. Part A comprises of states, comprised of 9 erstwhile governor provinces of British India. So A comprises of states that had been governed by the British India. Part B consisted of 9. A also consisted of 9, B also consisted of 9 princely states with legislatures. So this was the one which had legislature. Part C states consisted of erstwhile chief commissioner provinces of British India. Part C consisted of erstwhile chief commissioner provinces of British India and some of the erstwhile princely states. So this was the one which were ruled by the chief commissioner, and some of them were also princely states. So A was the one which was under directly governor's rule. B was the one which was the president but with the legislature. C was the one which was controlled by the chief commissioner, but some of them were also having princely states included into Part C. Part C had 10 members in total, which was centrally administered. So it was centrally administered, not having its own legislature. And the Andaman and Nicobar Island were kept as a solitary part of D, that is Union Territory. So there were certain commissions that were made to show whether it was to be divided on the basis of language or not, because the states earlier were demanding to be demarcated on the basis of language. So it was Dhar Commission, JVP Commission that we will be seeing. So the integration of princely states with the rest of India has purely been an ad hoc arrangement. It was not expected that it will go like this. It was ad hoc committees that were made to integrate them into our dominion. There were certain demands from different regions, particularly from South India, for reorganization of states on the basis of linguistic basis, that is on the basis of language. Accordingly, in June 1948, the government of India appointed the Linguist Province Commission under the chairmanship of S.K. Dhar. So, S.K. Dhar was the one who was leading the Linguistic Province Commission to examine the feasibility of this. The commission submitted its report in 1948. Soon after the independence of 1947, the state started demanding for a demarcation of each of the state on the basis of linguistic or the language. And an S.K. Dhar committee was S.K. Dhar soon chaired a meeting naming Linguistic Province Commission to submit its report whether it is feasible to demarcate the states on the basis of languages or not, and recommended the reorganization of states on the basis of administration convenience rather than linguistic factor. So the SK Dhar committee basically recommended that the organization can only be done on the basis of administrative convenience and not on the basis of linguistic factor. And this created a lot of resentment among all these states, because they wanted, particularly the South Indian states, wanted to be reorganized on the basis of linguistic basis. And then another committee by the Congress was set up in December to examine its whole question afresh. Again they started, and then it consisted of Jawaharlal Nehru J, Vallabhbhai Patel V, and Patabhai Sitaramaiah V. So that is why it was acronymed as JVP committee. It submitted its report in April 1949 and formally rejected the language as the basis of reorganization. This committee also rejected, so S.K. Dhar's committee, Linguistic Province Commission, rejected the language as the basis of demarcation. The JVP committee rejected language as the basis of demarcation. So let us see what were the four parts that consisted of. Part A consisted, as we said, that they were the ones that were administered directly by the British province. Part B consisted of princesses that had its own legislature. Part C, which was centrally administered but also princely states. And D consisted of only Andaman Nicobar solitary union territory. So we can see in part A we have Assam, Bihar, Bombay, Madhya Pradesh, Madras, Odisha, Punjab, and UP, United Province, and West Bengal. In part B, we had Hyderabad, Jammu and Kashmir. This was done by police accession, Madhya Bharat, Mysore, Patiala, East Punjab, Rajasthan, Saurashtra, Travancore, Cochin, and Vindhya Pradesh. Part C consisted of Ajmer, Bhopal, Bilaspur, Cooch, Bihar, Coorg, India, Himachal, Kutch, Manipur, and Tripura. You can see a lot many of them in the part C. We'll see in the future that this was later converted to a united territory, and then later on again was included into the states. So we will see how these evolved later on. So this was a scenario in the year 1950. So 1950 consisted of this, and Andaman Nicobar was solely kept in part D. Original parts of the constitution dealing with the states and territories. So part 6 dealt with original headings, that was the states in part A of the constitution. Part 6 consists of states in Part A of the first schedule, 7 consisted of Part B in the first schedule, 8 part consist of Part C in the first schedule, and 9 the territories of Part D in the first schedule, and not so specified in that schedule. So these were the articles that were covered, if you can see. However, in October 1953, Government of India was forced to create a first linguistic state known as Andhra Pradesh because of a lot of resentment and a lot of agitation in that state by following Telugu-speaking areas from Madras. And now this began the entire structure formation of on the basis of language. This followed a prolonged agitation and the death of Potti Sri Ramullu, a Congress person of standing, after 56-day hunger strike for a cause. After he had a 56-day hunger strike, he made the government to make Andhra Pradesh the first state on the basis of language. And then subsequently another committee was formed, that is Faisal Ali committee, which after the creation of Andhra Pradesh intensified the demand from other regions as well, that they also want their states to be formed on the basis of language. And this forced the government of India to appoint a 3-member state reorganization commission under the Faisal Ali. So Faisal Ali was the person chairing or presiding over this particular commission to re-examine the whole question. Its other 2 members were K.M. Panikkar and H.N. Kunzru. So in JVP it was Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, and Pattabhi Sitaramayya. In Faisal Ali, we had K.M. Panikkar and H.N. Kunzru accompanying Faisal Ali to be presiding over this commission, and submitted its report in 1955. In 1955, we had the report done. In 1953, government made Andhra Pradesh. In 1955, we had a report of Faisal Ali to be demarcating states on the basis of languages, and broadly accepted the language as the reorganization of states. However, it rejected the theory of one language, one state. It completely rejected this theory of one language, one state. It viewed that the unity of India should be regarded as a primary consideration in any redrawing of the country's political boundary. It said that the unity should not be taken as a secondary objective but as a primary objective, and redrawing the country's political language should be kept in mind only after the unity is maintained. It identified 4 major factors that should be taken into account for the reorganization. The first one, preservation and strengthening of the unity and security of the country. You preserve and strengthen the unity, linguistic and cultural homogeneity, financial, economic, and administrative consideration, planning and promotion of the welfare of the people in each state as well as the whole nation. So you should preserve and strengthen the unity. You should not keep the unity as a secondary or tertiary option, but the unity should be at the top agenda of your entire commission. All the linguistic and cultural homogeneity shall be maintained. It should not be that since you are demarcating on the basis of language and different languages are coming into a single state, then this entire commission will be to no avail. We should also keep into mind that the financial and economic administrative consideration are taken into consideration. Supposedly there is a state formed and does not have enough resources, so it is pointless to form the state only on the basis of language if it does not have enough resources to develop its own state. So you should also keep in mind how to divide the states, provided that it has all the natural resources resources to set up its industries, to give employment, to develop itself, and planning and promotion for the welfare of the people. And welfare of the people can only be considered if the above 3 points are kept into mind. So the territory in 1956, after the Faisal Ali Commission has given its report, the following was made. So in the states we have 14 states, and in union territories we had 6 states. As I said, like Himachal Pradesh and Manipur were later included into union territories. This will again undergo a change and will come to the present situation. However, the Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Bombay, JNK, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Madras, Mysore, Orissa, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal were a part of states, and union territories included Andaman, Delhi. It is still a union territory. Himachal Pradesh, if you see, is not a union territory but was a union territory in 1956. Lakshadweep, Minicoy and Amandeep Island is still a union territory. Manipur not a union territory. Tripura not a union territory. The commission suggested the abolition of fourfold classification of states. It rejected the part A, B, C, D as the stereotypical or the classification of state, and under the original constitution created 16 states and 3 centrally administered territories. The commission, however, suggested the abolition of fourfold classification of states under original constitution and created a 16 states and 3 administration territories. So Faisal Ali suggested this, but the government of India finally accepted this modification with certain minor modifications. With certain of these recommendations were accepted and certain of them were not accepted. By the States Reorganization Act, the 7th Constitutional Amendment Act, that is the 7th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1956, had a distinction between Part A and B was done away, and Part C and D were abolished. Some of them were merged with adjacent states and some of them were designated UTs. As a result of 14 states and 6 union territories were finally made. So the commission gave 16 states and 3 UTs, but the final outcome was 14 states and 6 UTs and was created on the 1st of November 1956. After the States Reorganization Act of 1956 established a new state of Kerala by merging Travancore and Cochin state with the Malabar district of Madras and Kasaragod of South Canara or Dakshin Kannada. It merged Telugu speaking areas of Hyderabad with Andhra Pradesh, so the Telugu speaking areas were mixed with Andhra Pradesh state to create an Andhra Pradesh state. Further, it merged the Madhya Bharat state, Vindhya Pradesh state, and Bhopal state into Madhya Pradesh. So it merged Madhya Bharat state, Vindhya Pradesh state, and Bhopal state into Madhya Pradesh state. Okay, if it similarly merged Saurashtra, that is the area of Gujarat, Kutch state into Bombay state. Okay, and then it merged Coorg state into Mysore state. Coorg was again merged into Mysore, and the Patiala and the East Punjab state into Pepsu into Punjab state, and the Ajmer was brought into Rajasthan. Moreover, it created a new union territory, Lakshadweep, Minicoy and Amandeep Island, from territory detached from Madras state. I will show you the map. It was before, earlier, and then after. As you can see, soon after the merger, India looked like this. Bhopal was into the Madhya Bharat, Ajmer was into the Rajasthan, and Himachal was the Union Territory. That is what has been colored with the yellow colorish thing, HP, you can see. And then Madhya Pradesh was with Vidhya Pradesh and Madhya this thing. As you can see, this is the state of India in 1956. After the commission's award was finally accepted, this is what had happened. So this is what I'm seeing from News Minute, and this is completely the correct map in the ages of 1956. I would also like to once reiterate again the map of India before the independence and after the independence. So if you see, the green part is something that has been now considered as a dominion of Pakistan. The orange one has been the Indian Union, and the ones in the pink were the ones that were not yet joined by the either dominion but later on were included into India. This is the East Pakistan, that is now known as Bangladesh, and this is Burma, that is the Myanmar. So the orange one was the one that was included into India, and the one that you see in this turquoise color, that is Goa, included into India in 1961, because till then it was controlled by Portuguese. And now we have this as the current state of India. There has to be a correction in this. These are 28 states and 8 UTs, because Tamil Nadu and Nagar Haveli have been now merged into one. So if you see this, in 2000, 3 states were born. That was Uttaranchal, later on called as Uttarakhand, spills from Uttar Pradesh. That will be seeing how these all other states were born. But this is the current state of India. And in 2003, the latest state, that is the other Telangana, was made to separate out of Andhra Pradesh, and this was done by Article 3, if you remember. This was a state in 1951. If you see, this was the entire Maharashtra region, but later on it was divided into Gujarat and Maharashtra. If you see this entire region of Coorg and Madras and everything, now this has been made Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh and Telangana and Maharashtra and Karnataka. And you see this in between right now. This was first a part of Madhya Bharat, and the entire this region, the northeast region, was Assam, but now this has been made into seven sisters. If you see. So coming back to our chapter, let us continue from where we left. So the new states and union territories created after 1956. So what were the new ones that were created after this commission's recommendation? Even after large-scale reorganization of states in 1956, the map that I showed you, that is the one which had multiple states, 16 states and um, 14 states and 6 UTs. After that map was redrawn again, there were certain resentments yet to be resolved. The demand for creation of some more states on the basis of language and cultural homogeneity resulted in the bifurcation of existing states. So let us see how was Maharashtra and Gujarat formed in 1960. So this was the one that was formed the earliest after Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh was in which year? Do write in the comment. Otherwise, let me just reiterate or show you where did we study about this. Andhra Pradesh was formed in the year 1953. That is why, consequently, a Faisal Ali Commission was formed in 1953 and it submitted a report in 1955. So let us see now how was Maharashtra and Gujarat born. So 1960, bilingual state of Bombay was divided into two separate states, Maharashtra for Marathi speaking people and Gujarat for Gujarati speaking people. Gujarat was established as the 15th state of the UT because by the time Maharashtra was already existing. So we had 15, 16 states and the 16th state was, 17th state was Gujarat. So Gujarat was known as the 15th state of Indian Union Territory. We'll see how 16th and 17th states came. Dadra and Nagar Haveli were the UTs, not the states. Remember this. Dadra and Nagar Haveli came into existence just after the Maharashtra and Gujarat. The Portuguese ruled this territory until 1954. It was ruled Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Subsequently, administration was carried out in 1961. 1961, they had their administration here by an administration chosen by the people themselves. It was converted into a union territory of India by the 10th Amendment. In the 10th Amendment, it was converted as a UT. Till then, it was chosen as a state which was controlled by Portuguese till 1961, and people themselves chose to be administered later on. So Portuguese ruled the territory in 1954. People chose to be ruled by themselves till 1961, and later it was converted into a union territory by the 10th Constitutional Amendment Act. Tell me what happened in the 7th Constitutional Amendment Act in the comment box. Goa and Daman and Diu. Let us see what happened in Goa, Daman, Diu. In case of Goa and Daman, India acquired these three territories from Portuguese. This was again acquired from Portuguese. Portuguese were the first to come and the last to go by the means of police action. So Goa, Daman, were acquired by the police action in 1961. They were constituted as Union Territory by 12th Amendment Constitutional Amendment Act. By the 12th Constitutional Amendment Act, uh, they were acquired. As both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha seats are going to change, hence a constitutional amendment was made. I have already mentioned multiple times in my earlier videos that the Constitutional Amendment Act is been done because there is a change in the seats of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Otherwise, there is no means, and it has been done under the provision of Article 368. Later in 1987, Goa was conferred a statehood. 1987 made Goa given a statehood uh, status. Consequently, Daman and Diu was made a separate union territory. And now Daman and Diu, the Dadra and Nagar Haveli are made to combine into each other by the means of Article 3. Puducherry, the territory of Puducherry, which is in Maharashtra, Madras, comprises of the former French establishment in India known as Puducherry, Karaikanal, Mahe and Yanam. So Puducherry is in around Tamil Nadu, Karaikanal is in around Tamil Nadu, Mahe again around Kerala in Puducherry, and Yanam is again around Andhra Pradesh. The French handed over this territory in 1954. Subsequently, it was administered as an acquired territory. It was administered as an acquired territory till 1962. It was made a UT by the 14th Constitutional Amendment Act. The acquired territory meaning it was done by Article 2, and then later it was made an amendment. Nagaland in 1963. So basically first we had Gujarat, Maharashtra, then we had Goa, Daman, Diu, then we had Puducherry, then we had Nagaland. So 1963 we had Nagaland was formed by taking Naga Hills and Tuensang Hills out of Assam. This was done to satisfy the movement of hostile Nagas. However, before giving Nagaland the status of 16th state of Indian Union, it was placed under the control of Governor of Assam. However, before giving Nagaland the status of the entire union, it was placed under the Governor of Assam. 1961. In 1961, it was given to Governor of Assam, seeing that alright, this can be formed into a state. It was given a statehood later on. Haryana, Chandigarh, and Himachal Pradesh. So this came long after Haryana, Chandigarh, and Himachal Pradesh. 1966 state of Punjab was bifurcated. Bifurcated, basically, Punjab Reorganization Act was made. In 1966, it was done that to create Haryana, the 17th state of the Indian Union, and the Union Territory of Chandigarh. This followed the demand for a separate Sikh homeland, Punjabi Sabha, raised by Akali Dal. Akali Dal is a very old political party which had been demanding a separate Sikh homeland known as Punjab now, under the leadership of Master Tara Singh. So Tara Singh was the one who demanded a Punjab Sabha, altogether a different land for Punjab, on the recommendation of Shah Commission. Shah Commission in 1966 again was formed for the bifurcation of states. The Punjab speaking areas were constituted into unilingual state of Punjab. All the Punjabi speaking people were constituted as a single state of Punjab, and Hindi speakers were constituted as Haryana. And hill areas were merged into adjoining Union Territory of Himachal Pradesh, and all the hilly areas were merged into adjoining UT of Himachal Pradesh. Earlier, Himachal was known as a UT. In 1971, the UT of Himachal was given and elevated to the status of state. Again, after 1971, Himachal Pradesh was given the status of statehood, and this was known as the 18th state of Indian Union. After this was Manipur, Tripura, and Meghalaya that came into existence. 1971, the political map of Northeast India underwent a major change because all these three, if you see, are constituents of Northeast India. So Assam had undergone a major change in its map. The two, if you see, Northeast Reorganization Act was passed. For every bifurcation anything, there has to be an act passed, not a mandatory constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment will only be made when there are changes in the seats of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Until unless there is no change, there shall only be an ordinary law passed with a simple majority in the parliament. 1972, the political map of Northeast India underwent a major change. The two union territories of Manipur and Tripura and substate of Meghalaya got statehood, and the union territory of Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh, originally known as NEFA, Northeast Frontier Agency, came into being. So the two territories of Manipur and Tripura and the substate of Meghalaya got the statehood. Now this was completely new to us, a substate and subhood. That is why a constitutional amendment had to be made for this, because this was not mentioned in our constitution at all. Came into being. With this, the number of states was increased to 21. Manipur 19th, Tripura 20th, and Meghalaya 21. Initially, the 22nd Amendment Act created Meghalaya as an autonomous state. Now, why you will be wondering, why do we have a constitutional amendment here? Because the sub-state thing is completely new to us. This something happened for the first time, not mentioned in the constitution, and hence to give such a status to any state, we need to have something mentioned in the constitution. Hence, for that we had a constitutional amendment, not for the purpose of creating Meghalaya within the state its own. However, it did not satisfy the aspiration of people of Meghalaya, and the Union Territory of Mizoram and Arunachal are also formed out of the territory of Assam. Sikkim, after this, till 1947, Sikkim was an Indian princely state ruled by Chogyal. In 1947, the lapse of British paramountcy, Sikkim became a protectorate. Protectorate. What is protectorate? Under the India's leadership, it was we were protecting the state of Sikkim, whereby Indian government assumed responsibility for defense, external affairs, and communication of Sikkim. So we were handling defense, external affairs, and communication for Sikkim. 1974, Sikkim expressed its desire to come into India. And we had to make a 35th constitutional amendment was enacted. This constitutional amendment included a new class of statehood under the constitution, conferring Sikkim as a state as associate state. Again, associate state was something that was not mentioned in the constitution at all, and hence we had to make a constitutional amendment for the purpose of this. So do remember, we only make constitutional amendment for the purpose of changing in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, or something that has not been mentioned in the constitution and needs to be made a mention of. For this purpose, a new Article 2A and a new Schedule 10th schedule containing the terms and conditions associated were inserted in the constitution. This experiment, however, did not last long, as it was not fully satisfied with the aspiration. Again, people were not very happy with the status of associate statehood, and hence in a referendum held in 1975 they voted for the abolition of constitution of Chogyal, and Sikkim becoming the integral part of India. So Sikkim finally came into India in 1975 and became the 22nd state. Consequently, the 36th constitutional amendment was acted to make Sikkim a full-fledged state. So there were two constitutional amendments. 35th was to make it an associate state, and 36th to make as a part of India, because there has to be some seats in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha for Sikkim to make it a full-fledged state. 22nd. This amendment, for the first time, and the fourth schedules. This amendment amended the first and the fourth schedule of the Constitution and added the Article 371F to provide for certain provisions with respect to administration of Sikkim. So new articles are added for the provisions of Sikkim, and it also repealed Article 2 and 10 schedule that were added by, and subsequently 36 removed Article 2A and 35th, which were inserted just for the purpose of Sikkim to be given a status of associate state, because it is no longer now an associate state but a full-fledged state. So we have to repeal the ones which are given below, which are given before, and a new article altogether was added, Article 371F, to provide certain special provisions for the administration of Sikkim. Then again we come to Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh and Goa. In 1987, three states were formed, that were Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh and Goa, and 23rd, 24th and 25th were formed. States of Union Territory respectively. The Union Territory of Mizoram was conferred a full-fledged state as a sequel to signing of a memorandum of settlement. A memorandum of settlement was signed, known as Mizoram Peace Accord, in 1986 between central government and the Mizo National Front, ending a two-decade-old insurgency. There was again insurgency agitation in the people of Mizoram, and ending that we had signed a Mizoram Peace Accord. Arunachal Pradesh had been also Union Territory from 1972. The state of Goa was created by separating the territory of Goa from the Union Territory of Goa, Daman and Diu. So Goa was also given a full-fledged status. Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand are the ones which are formed in really later years. Three new states were formed out of Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand. Again, there has to be an act that has to be passed for the organization of this, and we will see these were the respective acts that were there: Madhya Pradesh Reorganization Act, Uttar Pradesh Reorganization Act, Bihar Reorganization Act. For every state that will be formed, will be forming a act before its formation, and hence an act was formed and was created out of the territory of Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, and these were passed in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, because these are formed out of this. So the act will be passed in the state where they were already existing. Supposedly it is created out of Bihar, so it will be passed in first the state of Bihar, and then a new state will be passed altogether. So Jharkhand, if you see, came out of Bihar, so we will be passing a law in Bihar to make Jharkhand. Okay, and these became 26, 27 and 28 states of Indian Union Territory respectively. Telangana, in 2014 the new states of Telangana came into existence as the 29th state of Union Territory. It was carved out of territory of Andhra Pradesh. As we already know, Andhra Pradesh 1953 formed the first linguistic state, after which the Federal Committee came, and was known as the state of Andhra Pradesh by taking out Telangana speaking areas from the state of Madras, now Tamil Nadu. So Andhra Pradesh was formed the first linguistic state of India, known as Andhra, by taking out the Telugu speaking areas from the state of Madras, now Tamil Nadu. Kurnool was the capital of Andhra Pradesh, and the state high court was established at Guntur. So this is really important for you to understand that Andhra Pradesh was the first state to be formed, linguistic state, and they were formed on the basis of Telugu speaking areas from Madras. Kurnool was the capital of Andhra Pradesh, and Guntur was the area where High Court was established. The State Reorganization Act 1956 merged the Telugu speaking areas of Hyderabad with Andhra Pradesh to create an enlarged Andhra Pradesh speaking area. The State of Reorganization 1956 merged the Telugu speaking areas of Hyderabad with Andhra Pradesh to create an enlarged Andhra Pradesh state. The capital of the state was Hyderabad. So again, there was an act of states reorganization 1956 that was merging Telugu speaking areas of Hyderabad and Andhra Pradesh to create an enlarged Andhra Pradesh area. The capital of the state was shifted to Hyderabad. Again, the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act of 2014 bifurcated Andhra Pradesh into two separate areas. So if you see, Andhra Pradesh was formed in 1953, taking out Telugu speaking areas from Madras, Tamil Nadu, and Kurnool was the then capital, and the High Court was established at Guntur. Later on, the States Reorganization Act merged Telugu speaking areas of Hyderabad and Andhra Pradesh to create an enlarged Andhra Pradesh, and the capital was again shifted to Hyderabad from Kurnool. And again, the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act 2014 bifurcated Andhra Pradesh into two separate areas known as Andhra Pradesh and the Telangana. Now let us see about Jammu and Kashmir and Leh Ladakh area. Till 2019, the erstwhile states of Jammu and Kashmir had its own constitution and thus enjoyed a special status by virtue of Article 370 of the Constitution of India. Till 2019, Kashmir had its own constitution and it had its own everything. Article 370 had its own rules and regulations, but in 2019, a special status was abolished by the presidential order known as the Constitutional Application of the Jammu and Kashmir Order of 2019. This order superseded the earlier order. It was a temporary order and hence a new order superseded the earlier order. The Constitution application of Jammu and Kashmir Order 1954 was superseded. The 2019 order extended all the provisions of the Constitution of India to Jammu and Kashmir also. All the order extended to the provision of Constitution was extended to Jammu and Kashmir also. This, however, the inoperative Article 370 continued to remain in the text of Constitution. However, we have not repealed the we have repealed the Article 370 altogether, but it is still a part of our Constitution till now. For the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act, again, there was a Reorganization Act that was passed by the Parliament, bifurcated the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir into two separate union territories. So there were two separate union territories, that was Jammu and Kashmir and the territory of Ladakh. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir comprises of all districts of erstwhile states of Jammu and Kashmir except the Kargil and the Leh district, which have gone to the Union Territory of Ladakh. So Kargil and Leh went to Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir went to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Thus, the number of states and the union territories have increased from 14 to 28 and from 6 to 8. Now, this has been 8. This has come down to 8 because Dadra and Nagar Haveli merged with Daman and Diu. Alright, changes of name. How does the change of name, if you see, as you have seen that sometimes Pondicherry changes to Puducherry, Allahabad changes to Prayagraj. So how does the change of name takes place? So the name of some states and union territories have also been changed. The United Province was first state to have a new name as Uttar Pradesh in 1950. 1969, Madras was renamed as Tamil Nadu. 73, Mysore was renamed as Karnataka. And how does this happen? But if you see, for everything we again pass a law, that is an act for the alteration of the name. This is done under Article 3. Tamil Nadu, similarly, in 1973, Mysore was renamed as Karnataka. Lakadweep, Minikoy was renamed as Lakshadweep. 1992, the Union Territory of Delhi was redesigned as the National Capital Territory of India, that is NCT, without being conferred the status of full-fledged state by the 69th Constitutional Amendment Act. So, Union Territory Delhi was designated as NCT, that is National Territory of India, without being conferred as a full state. As seen, the nature Delhi is not completely a state or a UT, hence constitutional amendment for this. And why did we have a constitutional amendment for this? Because there was no particular, there's no particular mention in the constitution regarding such a status of any state or UT, and hence we have to pass a new constitutional amendment. In 2006, Uttaranchal was renamed as Uttarakhand and Pondicherry was renamed as Puducherry. 11, Orissa was renamed as Odisha. So these were some of the changes that have taken place since independence about the UTs and states. So if you see Andhra Pradesh and Arunachal, Assam, Bihar, Goa, these are some of the states that we have today. That is 28 states and 8 UTs: Andaman Nicobar Island, Chandigarh, Dadra, Nagar Haveli, Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Puducherry, etc. And some of the states and their provisions, like we have Assam Boundary Act, altered the boundary of the state of Assam by ceding a strip of territory comprised in the state to Bhutan. So this act was passed, alteration of boundary, and some of it was given to Bhutan. A strip of territory was given to Bhutan. Andhra Pradesh was the first linguistic state known as the state of Andhra by taking out Telugu speaking areas from the state of Madras. Kurnool was the capital and Guntur was a place where the first High Court was established. Himachal Pradesh Act 1954, formation of new state Himachal by uniting the existing state of Himachal Pradesh and Bilaspur. Bilaspur and Himachal was merged and formed a new state. Chandernagar Merger Act merged the territory of Chandernagar, a former enclave of French India. It was a part of French India, into the state of West Bengal. So it was merged into West Bengal. States Reorganization Act made the extensive change in the boundary of various states for the purpose of meeting linguistic, regional, and local demands. It created 16 states and 6 union territories of what we have seen: Bihar, West Bengal Act provided the transfer of certain territories from state of Bihar to state of West Bengal. That is, from Bihar, some certain of the areas were given to West Bengal. Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh Act provided for the transfer of certain territories from Rajasthan to Madhya Pradesh. As Andhra Pradesh and Madras Act alteration, that is, here we have altering the boundaries, provided for the alteration of boundaries of the state of Andhra Pradesh and Madras. Bombay Reorganization Act. In this act, formed a new state of Gujarat by taking out Gujarati-speaking areas from the state of Bombay, renamed Bombay, and from the state of Bombay, and we have also renamed Bombay as Maharashtra. The city of Ahmedabad was made the capital of Gujarat earlier, but now it is Gandhinagar. The Acquired Territory Merger Act provides for the merger of states of Assam, Punjab, West Bengal, or certain territory acquired from the Pakistan, and the agreement we had an agreement with Pakistan, and certain of the merger acquired territories were taken into India under this act. The state of Nagaland formed a new state, Nagaland 16th state, by taking out Naga Hills Tuesang area from the state of Assam. The Naga Hills Tuesang area was tribal area of Assam specified in the 6th schedule of the constitution. Punjab Reorganization Act formed the new state of Haryana by taking out Hindi speaking areas from the state of Punjab. So Punjab reorganization happened how? By taking out Hindi speaking areas and formed Haryana by taking out people of Punjabi speaking area into Punjab, and the hilly area was taken into Himachal Pradesh, and the rest were, it was also made as Chandigarh and new UT as well as a common capital for both Punjab and Haryana. Bihar and UP alteration provided for the alteration boundaries of state of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh Mysore Act provided for the transfer of certain territories from the state of Mysore, the now Tamil Nadu, into the state of Andhra Pradesh. So it was enlarging the area of Andhra Pradesh. Madras State Act changed the name of the state of Madras to that of Tamil Nadu. So that was the alteration of name. Assam Reorganization Act formed a sub-state known as Meghalaya within the state of. So this was a sub-state formation, but they were not satisfied, and hence a Meghalaya Reorganization Act was passed later on. State of Himachal Pradesh elevated the Union Territory of Himachal Pradesh to the status of state. So 18th state was Himachal Pradesh. Earlier it was a UT, and then in 1970 it was given a full-fledged state of a state. Northeast Reorganization Act of 1971 elevated the two union territories of Manipur and Tripura to a status of the two union territories Manipur and Tripura were given a full-fledged status. It also conferred a full statehood to Meghalaya, which was earlier a sub-state in the 21st state, was previously a sub-state within the state of Assam. Further, it formed the two union territories of Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh out of the territories of Assam. So Assam was the earliest state with the biggest area, and later it was broken down into multiple parts and forming now the seven sisters of the northeast. Mysore State Act 1973 changed the name of the state of Mysore to that of Karnataka. Lakadweep Minicoy again the renaming to Lakshadweep. Haryana and Uttar Pradesh again was provided the alteration of boundary between UP and Haryana. And Mizoram Act was Mizoram was given the status of state. Arunachal Pradesh was elevated to the status of state, the 24th state. And Goa Daman Diu Act was giving the separating the territory of Goa from the territory of Daman and Diu. Goa Daman Diu. Madhya Pradesh forming the 26th state. Uttar Pradesh reorganization, creation of Uttaranchal, the 27th state, by carving out its territory out of the territory of Uttar Pradesh. Bihar reorganization, 28th state. So basically Jharkhand was formed out of this. Uttaranchal was again renamed as Uttarakhand here. It was earlier named as Uttaranchal, which was coming out of Uttar Pradesh, and now in 2006 it was named as Uttarakhand. Pondicherry was renamed to Puducherry in 2006. Orissa was renamed to Odisha in 2011, and Andhra Pradesh formed a reorganization. Telangana was formed, the 29th state, and Jammu and Kashmir again Article 370 was repealed and bifurcated the Jammu and Kashmir into two UTs. What were the two UTs? Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. And Article 1 talks about the name and the territory of India. 2 talks about Article 2 talks about admission of new states to a Sikkim to be associated with the Union. That was, it was a associate a sub-state which was later repealed. And Third one was formation of new state and alteration of area of the existing states. And fourth one was laws made under Article 2 to provide laws that were made under Article 2 and 3. So this is all about the formation or evolution about the UTs and states. Thank you.